Hi guys, it's Chris at Court and Crown with another tasting, but not a cider tasting. Today, I couldn't find any local cider. I'm in Devon and I couldn't find any local cider. Goodness me, I'm going to keep trying though. But I did find something else to try, and it's not cider, it's actually wine. So I started selling cider relatively recently, got into it a few years ago. But before that, I worked in craft beer, a bit, primarily worked in cheese, but also did some stuff with wine as well. So I basically like wine and beer and cider. So I was somewhere today, which I've been to before, quite a while ago, which is Sharpham. And at Sharpham they have a winery and a vineyard and a dairy where they make cheese. So they make a variety of wines. You could walk around the vineyard actually, and it was really beautiful. The weather was great. It was gorgeous down there. It's on like a peninsula in the River Dart, south-facing slopes. Very nice place to visit if you get a chance. And I saw this. So this is Pinot Gris wild ferment. So Pinot Gris is an Alsatian grape, traditionally an Alsatian grape. You'll find it all over the world now. I mean, South America lots. I think I've had quite a few from New Zealand, but you can get it all over the place. So it's one of the 3 or 4 Alsatian grapes which can be grown cru. The other 2 are Riesling and Gewürztraminer. There's also Pinot Blanc that can't be grown cru, but don't discount Pinot Blanc from Alsace. It's fantastic. So Sharpham, technically quite safe wines, I think. But then I saw Pinot Gris, which I love, and well ferment, which I thought, well, that's going to be interesting, because all the ciders I sell are well ferment. It's going to be very similar sort of yeast strains in this, I would have thought. So I thought I'd like to try it. So minimal intervention. There's a lot of vines, and actually it's all hand picked, which is quite a lot of work. So let's see, well ferment using only natural yeast made with minimal intervention. The grape skins are soaked from between 24 to 48 hours to increase the weight and body of the wine. You can expect citrus and stone fruit flavours. But also on the website it said it went with one of the cheeses they make, and it's a cheese that I've sold since the mid-90s when I started working in cheese, and it's called Tickleball. It's a goat's cheese. It's an unusual goat's cheese. It's like a sort of semi-soft, sort of semi-firm goat's cheese. And so not like the Loire Valley, so it's not so much, it's like you get logs and these wrinkly rinds, geotrichum wrinkly rinds, which is very much associated with goat's cheese. This is very much like an invention, if you like. So actually they use colanders to make it, little sort of colanders, so it looked like a little sort of UFO shape they used to get. But I went to buy some today, and they didn't have any in that shape. What they had was whole cheeses that look like that. And as you can see, I've taken a bit out already, which we're going to try. So that is the cheese. So I bought it because I was curious, and they wouldn't sell me a cut bit, so I had to get the whole thing. Oh well. But being at a different size is going to make a difference to the cheese. It's going to drain differently. The acidity is going to be different. It's going to make a big difference. Tiny variables make massive differences when you're making cheese or any fermented food, for that matter. So I thought I'd buy it and see, and I'd try it with the wine that they recommended to have it with. You know, just to see if they were right. So first off, let's open the wine. Screw cap. Easy access. No weapons of choice required today. What's the ABV on this? 11.5. Not too bad. Here's my milk jug, my tasting milk jug, my Devonian milk jug, which I use for sampling. Now, sometimes when I've tried ciders, I've said quite a lot actually, it's got like a pinkish hue, which I associate with like Pinot Gris, Gewürztraminer perhaps from Alsace or elsewhere, and actually you might be able to see this very well. But this is actually this has got a golden hue to it, but actually it has that pinkish hue that I was speaking about. And there's a greyness to the skins, pinkish greyness to the skins, and this has been left on the skins for 24 to 48 hours. It said, so you expect some of the colour to get into that, and there it is. And there's that slight pinkish hue which I talk about when I talk about Pinot Gris colour in ciders. So still bright, as we would expect with a wine. Let's have a little swirl and a smell. Okay, actually, it's quite a forthright nose, quite a rich nose on that. Let's do that again. Yeah, there's a stone fruit character to it, almost like a pear character as well, I want to say. Pear and stone fruit. I mean, it says wild ferment. It's nothing like as funky as some of the ciders that we smell, although we look at people like Secret Orchard or Butford Organic. They are wild yeast, but they're using steel so there's no other microbes are getting in there, you know. So it's still quite a clean apple flavour. So I don't know what I expected, but this has almost got, oh yeah, it's like creaminess to it as well, I want to say. So creamy, pear, rich stone fruit. That's what I'm getting. It's quite appealing. It feels like it might be low acid, therefore a bit flabby. But it's an English wine. English wines are not usually low acid because it's quite a cool climate compared to, you know, where these grapes originated from. So you'd expect cold climate to have more acidity, less sugar. Let's give it a taste. And it's only 11.5, so that maybe less sugar. Yeah, okay. It's got excellent acidity, actually. Really good acidity. And actually, without it, it would be flabby. It really needs it. It's very round stone fruit, kind of like sour peach character to it, I want to say. Yeah, peach apricot, peach nectarine, possibly. Something in that stone fruit family, definitely. Very rich on the palate, though. It doesn't taste wild to me, which I kind of didn't think it would. And I feel like sharpened wines are very clean, crisp, down the safe, if you like. Nothing wrong with that. You know, if you're making wine once a year from the vintage, you want to make sure that what you make is something you can sell. So how many risks do you want to take? Not many is the answer. Pretty solid. How does it compare to an Alsatian Pinot Gris? I feel like it's got more acidity for sure. It hasn't quite, I don't know. There's something not quite there. Something not quite there you get. It is bolder acidity, which I'd expect. But there's some sort of complexity, smokiness, something that I expect from a Pinot Gris. A good Pinot Gris it hasn't got. But it's still a good wine. Okay. So let's hack a bit off this and see what it's like. Okay, so very white, which is what we'd expect from goat's cheese. Goats metabolize the beta carotene from the feed into vitamin A, and beta carotene is the stuff that makes carrots orange. Cows do not metabolize that into vitamin A, so beta carotene comes out in cow's milk. So cow's milk is quite yellow in colour, whereas goat's milk white in colour, and sheep's milk as well. They don't metabolize beta carotene either. So I feel like this is firmer in texture than the large one. It is firmer in texture. It seems quite youthful. It's got this white rind on the outside. It's Penicillium candidum, white penicillium. That's all that means in Latin, which is something you'd associate with commercial cheeses. But it's not a thick white rind. I don't know if you can see that. It's not a baggy white rind. It looks like there is a little bit of breakdown starting to occur at the edge, just a little bit. Okay. I think this is too young. I think I'd like to leave it at a warmer temperature, like say 10 Celsius, I don't know, for like a few days, or in room temperature, like 2 or 3 days in the cottage. Because it hasn't quite got the breakdown at the edge sometimes it gets, which you can get, whereby you get more complexity of flavour, the pH goes up, the acidity goes down. And it has got a slight chalkiness to it. It's not quite as open in texture as you get in the bigger cheeses. The flavour's there, but I'm finding that rind a bit cardboardy, papery, texturally. And the texture is a little bit squeaky. It's got halloumi squeakiness to it, which I'd expect the Tickle to have a little bit more, even where it's dry in the middle, to have a little bit more openness, a bit more moisture. It's funny because I used to sell this cheese in New York, and there's something about this cheese. This is Neal's Yard Dairy used to, well, probably still do export it to the United States. And there's something about the 6 weeks it took to get from Britain to America in a cardboard box on a container ship, refrigerated. They used to create these cheeses which you couldn't mimic any other way. We've tried, wouldn't work. Where you get this amazing breakdown at the edge, where you get quite soft and bulging, and we get amazing flavour. It was delicious in England, but in America it was even better, which is unusual. Normally, shipping it, will I mean, if anything, hopefully it won't affect it negatively at all. But if it's going to affect it, normally they assume it would be negatively because you put it in a box, putting it in a chiller and shipping it for like 6 weeks, which isn't ideal. For somebody with tickle more, it worked brilliantly. The flavour's there. Let's try it with a bit of this. Let's try it with the wine. See if it works. I think it might actually. Because it's quite young. It's got some youthful acidity to it. There's acidity in that wine. If you get a bit more of the rind, a bit more of the breakdown, you get a little bit more creaminess, a bit more richness. It's like what I imagine goat ice cream would taste like. Nice acidity, delicate salt. The bit just on the rind is actually really tasty, I must say. Let's try it with this. I've stuffed it in my mouth. That's not bad. It's not bad. I quite like that. That's got youthful acidity. That's got nice acidity to it. That's quite stone fruity. I think I probably like something a bit more honeyed and less stone fruity with a cheese like this. But actually it's quite nice. I reckon if I let this warm up, get a bit more development, it might work a bit better. Oh well, I'm going to eat this whole cheese now and drink an entire bottle of Pinot Gris. Sugar. Okay guys, well, hopefully I'll find some Devonian cider. We'll try some of that. This was a nice little, exploration of some other worlds that interest me. Cheese and wine. Okay, well, get yourself some Ticklemore. See if you can get yourself some sharpened Pinot Gris. If you can't get some Alsatian Pinot Gris, it rocks, it really does. Okay, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again soon. But until I do, cheers.